Dre wasn't feeling it. He was like, "This is corny," remembered MCJB, then a cheerleader for the Los Angeles Express, part of the short-lived United States Football League. But Arabian Prince had some studio time at his disposal, and so he helped the ladies put together a pair of tracks called Supersonic and Another Hoe Bites the Dust. The latter is a little-remembered entry in the mid-'80s, Roxanne Wars, a series of verbal volleys sparked by a dispute between MC Roxanne Shante and the group UTFO, who made the song Roxanne Roxanne. Despite the fact that JJ Fad didn't know the players involved or have any reason to be upset with them, they threw out their best insults. Roxanne Shante ain't got no hair in her back. She's bald. At that time, if you didn't have a diss record, you didn't have anything, said MCJB. The track didn't go anywhere, but its contagious B-side, Supersonic, began to make some noise. Eazy saw them perform it at local club The Casa and left impressed. Meanwhile, Eazy courted Arabian Prince for a supergroup he was planning of his own, which also included Cube from CIA and Dr. Dre and DJ Yella from World Class Wrecking Crew. Though he had a hot single, Eazy was still unconfident in his rapping abilities and likely thought it best to surround himself with a group of ringers. It was good timing. Dre and Cube had outgrown their old acts, and so the group, along with Eazy's buddy from the neighborhood, MC Ren, met at Arabian Prince's mother's house on Van Ness Avenue in Inglewood. The plan was to come up with a name. Despite Eazy and Dre's inclinations, it wasn't a foregone conclusion they'd be hardcore. After all, 3 of their original members, DJ Yella, Ice Cube, a.k.a. Purple Ice, and Arabian Prince, a.k.a. DJ Prince, idolized Prince. One thing they quickly agreed on. They wanted to represent where they were from, just like the New York rappers who shouted out their boroughs. Arabian Prince jokingly imagined a cover where the guys were holding guns with the title, From Compton with Love. That idea didn't go over so well. Eventually, he and Dre began complaining about not getting paid for their production credits. "I feel like a nigga with an attitude," someone said. And before long, Eazy suggested NWA, Niggas with Attitudes. It was a moniker shocking enough to turn heads, with a soupçon of righteous indignation. Cube, told of it later, was definitely down. Black people taking that word and trying to use it, instead of getting abused by it. It's a genius moniker in its provocativeness, thrilling some and making others uncomfortable. In early interviews, MC Ren took full advantage of the disparity, goading reporters, including me, into repeating a word many of them simply were incapable of even stammering, wrote Jonathan Gold. If you rose to the bait, you were a racist. If you didn't, I didn't. You were a wuss. There was no middle ground. Wow. Eazy was in charge of the group's decision-making. By now, he'd quit the drug game entirely and divided his time between his own solo projects and NWA. The group's first EP, Panic Zone, released in 1987, contains 2 songs that have gone down in history and one that hasn't. 8 Ball is an ode to Old English 800 malt liquor. I don't drink brass monkey, Eazy starts off the song, responding to the Beastie Boys' paean for their preferred elixir. The song also samples the white New York act's Fight for Your Right. Notably, neither Eazy nor the song's scribe Ice Cube actually drank at the time. Sir Jinx said when Eazy toted a 40-ouncer during performances, it would actually be filled with apple juice.
What?
Like 8 Ball, Dope Man was written by Ice Cube, and it foreshadowed the group's sound and image to come. It's the first...
So these cats was promoting drinking, and they didn't even drink. Wow.
Example of Dr. Dre's use of the funky worm, the high-pitched, irresistible Moog synthesizer sound.
Hit the thumbs up button.
Whose name was coined by 70s funk group Ohio Players. Dope Man alternately glamorizes and condemns the pusher and his lifestyle, ending with a stern warning voiced by Mexican-American rapper Crazy D. You sold crack to my sister, and now she's sick. But if she happens to die because of your drug, I'm putting in your culo a 38 slug. NWA's first single was actually the electro-driven track, Panic Zone, an apocalyptic dispatch from LA's tough neighborhoods. Ice Cube is from LA, he's in the panic zone. Eazy is from Compton, he's in the panic zone. Arabian Prince from Inglewood, he's in the panic zone. Though it hit locally, the song is barely remembered today.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing
Robotic vocals were already on the way out, displaced by, well, gangsta songs like The Boys in the Hood. To capitalize on NWA's emerging popularity, Macola put together an album called NWA and the Posse. They did so without NWA's consent, however, creating a bizarre situation in which the group was bad-mouthing their own record. That shit was like some whack shit, MC Ren said. No matter its provenance, Posse actually succeeds as a pretty good compilation album of the group's early works, including the Panic Zone tracks, Boys, and gag songs like Fat Girl with Eazy and Rendezvous, riffing on the Randy Rubenesque title character. Misogyny and humor commingle on A Bitch is a Bitch, in which Ice Cube denigrates girls who won't give him the time of day. I guarantee you we will be rich. Today, NWA and the Posse is probably best known for its cover photo, an 80s time capsule featuring a dozen of the group's affiliates. Mean mugging in a graffiti-covered, trash-strewn Hollywood alleyway near Macola, 40-ounce bottles in hand. The record also introduced another extraordinary talent, Dallas rapper Tracy Curry, who performs on Posse with a group called the Fila Fresh Crew. Their contributions include the Ode to Liquor, Drink It Up, a boozy parody of Twist and Shout, and Dunk the Funk, a banger showing off Curry's dexterous rapping ability. Such lyrical acrobatics were unlike anything the West Coast had yet seen up to this point, and it turns out Curry was a master songwriter as well. Curry was introduced to NWA via a Los Angeles DJ named Dr. Rock, an early member of the world-class Wrecking Crew. Dre had taken Rock's place in the group when the latter departed for college in Austin, and he later became an on-air personality for Dallas radio station K104. At a Dallas party, Rock happened upon Curry performing live. I was blown away, Dr. Rock said. I thought to myself, this is a guy I've got to get on wax. Curry originally called himself Doc because a rap partner's sister was a lab technician, and he thought he looked good in her coat. He later started calling himself DOC, adding the periods to connect himself with NWA. For the time being, however, he joined Dr. Rock and a friend named Fresh K in the Fila Fresh Crew. Dre, who recorded tracks with them, some of which ended up on NWA and the Posse, was blown away. He was like, "Nigga, you the shit," DOC said. "If you come out to the West Coast, I guarantee you we will be rich." DOC soon moved into a Compton house behind Centennial High School, owned by a Dallas acquaintance. Before long, however, Dre scraped enough money together to move out of Sir Jinx's house and into a two-bedroom apartment in the city of Paramount, just east of Compton. DJ Yella was his roommate, and they let DOC crash on the floor of their unfurnished living room, where he didn't have so much as a sleeping bag. But despite the Spartan accommodations, the guys quickly bonded. That was my first real connection with Dre, that we both liked to drink, DOC said. In the mornings, they'd shake off the fog and drive into the studio in a battered Toyota Corolla, blasting Public Enemy. Their recording spot was the optimistically named Audio Achievement Studio in Torrance. Attached to a Mexican restaurant, it was owned by a genial long-haired recording engineer named Donovan the Dirt Biker Smith. At the studio, DOC was quickly enveloped into the ruthless fold and became an unofficial member of NWA. His first task was writing lyrics for Eazy-E's solo song, We Want Eazy. It was DOC, with help from MC Ren, who began fashioning Eazy into the bawdy gangsta character we know today, and DOC was a major writing contributor to Straight Outta Compton as well.
Hit the thumbs up button, guys. Thumbs up button. Damn.
It was ironic, really. Growing up in Texas, DOC knew nothing about LA street culture. He used his naivete to his advantage. When I first got to Los Angeles, hip-hop music was a scary thing not only to white America, but to middle-class black America. They were afraid of it. They thought it was nigger shit, DOC said, adding that he used Eazy as a comedian similar to Public Enemy's Flavor Flav to deliver serious messages with humor. Eazy-E's character played off a long-established hood archetype, the heroic dealer surrounded by the finest trappings and women, conquering enemies, but never forgetting where he came from. His melodies were hummable, and his tongue was often in his cheek, as he rapped on, "No more questions about the way he conducted business. Walked in, said this is a robbery. Didn't need the money, it's just a hobby. Fill the bag, homeboy, don't lag. I want money, beer, and a pack of zigzags." NWA wasn't just the world's most dangerous group, as they branded themselves. They were also gangsters having fun. With the help of DOC and his songwriting, they became bad guys you couldn't help but root for.
Wow. This is actually really good, man. Original Gangsters by Ben Westhoff. They get really in depth. I did not know. So the whole time Eazy had these 40 ounces, it had apple juice in them. Well, he said at the beginning of their hip hop career and the NWA persona, they was having the 40 ounces with apple juice. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time you thinking they drinking real, people following them thinking that, oh, okay, drinking some 8-Ball. And the whole time they're not even drinking 8-Ball. That's crazy. Anyway, what do y'all think about this book, man? It's called Original Gangsters by Ben Westhoff. Y'all can check it out on Audible. Go ahead and check it out and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Give me that thumbs up button.